Welcome to Planet Reef Astro. We're back at NEAF 2025. We're here at the PrimaLuceLab booth with Filippo, the famous Filippo, who last year was hunting ghosts. And this year, he landed on the moon with the new Eagle.
Absolutely.
Now, did we get rid of the electrical wires now?
Yeah. Well, you need to call Tesla. The original Tesla.
No, let's not even mention Tesla. we won't go there because now I have this exact same scope.
Yeah.
With all the exact same equipment minus the rotator.
Okay.
And minus this beautiful red mount. I was discussing with Tom about the fact that your rotator is just not an angle adjuster.
Oh yeah. It's much more than an angle adjuster.
It's a field D rotator.
Yeah.
Right?
You need to look at the numbers. I mean, if you check for and compare the real resolution of any rotator that you find in the market, you will see that the Arco is the only one that is able to provide you with 1 arc-second resolution. And why is that? Because we didn't want to just design a simple camera rotator. Right. We wanted to use that also as a field rotator for people that may use it with Altaz mount. So why not? You know that the largest telescopes in the world are Altaz mounted.
That's right. I have an AZ EQ6 that can run in Altaz mode.
There you go.
And I said that would be perfect because no polar alignment.
No counterweight even.
Counterweight.
Yep.
I could put a second scope on there.
Absolutely.
And guide with that other scope or have it take pictures at the same time.
Yeah.
And wouldn't have to worry about the field rotation.
Nope.
And I could get multiple minutes of exposure without being crazy. I mean, I have a regular equatorial mount as well. And for framing, obviously, that's one of the best things to do is to be able to frame, especially with the larger sensors, with the larger field of view. But I have this exact same scope, exact same setup. The only thing I might want to do different is I might want to put the bar on the bottom.
Okay, on the bottom.
So that this opens up
this way. You can do that because the Alto and Giotto system allow you to set where you prefer, essentially.
Because I have Hyperstar. I run Hyperstar on the scope. So if I need a guide scope, so with the guide scope, this would run right into the guide scope or obstruct the view. Of course. I would put it on the bottom.
On the bottom, and there you go. And related to Altaz astrophotography, what I'm doing in the last few months is that I have the AZ EQ6 too, and I set it in Altaz mode. So I have an Edge HD8 like this on one side and an FSQ 85 on the other side. So what I do is I use Play, the software that we specifically developed for keeping astrophotography easy. And in Play, if you connect it to a focuser that is connected to the Arco rotator, it automatically detects it and automatically derotates. So you just have to point your mount and send a GoTo to any type of target. So what I do, I send, okay, I want to take a picture of M31. Let's say Andromeda Galaxy. I point the Andromeda Galaxy. I do the autofocus routine. Then I launch the autofocus alignment. Play automatically points perfectly the galaxy in the center of the field of view, and it starts derotating automatically.
Wow.
So you don't have to worry about the rotation because everything is controlled on software side without having you to really request and check for the rotation. It automatically applies. So when you use it, it seems like you are using an equatorial mount. But instead, you are using an Altaz mount with the third axis that is the derotator. And I see that the derotation error is much lower than the tracking error of the mount itself.
Wow.
So the Arco is much more precise than the mount itself. It's incredible. But we developed that for such a reason.
Not to mention that there's no polar alignment necessary.
No polar alignment. You just need to have your tripod leveled, and that's it. You start to pointing. If you have the AZ EQ6, you have to have the main telescope pointed on the east side of the mount, and with the counterweight rod on the west side.
Right.
That's his own position. Then you connect through Play using the Skywatcher Ascom driver,
Right.
and it automatically detects everything.
Wow.
And that's it. It's so easy. No counterweight, no meridian flip.
That's right.
No polar alignment, nothing. It's so easy.
Well, you know, what makes things a lot easier, I just got the Eagle 6.
Mhm.
I had the Eagle 4, but I had the base model with the Celeron
Yeah.
processor. And it worked great, but it was a little laggy. I bumped up the hard drive, I bumped up the memory,
Yeah.
but it's the Celeron processor dual
Still
core.
a Celeron.
But with this one, what I did was I upgraded the hard drive to 2 terabytes.
Oh wow!
And
So you made it extreme.
Right, and
like
I put
extreme.
a 2 terabyte hard drive in there too.
Okay.
And I found out I could actually go up to 64.
Yeah.
And so I did that. It runs phenomenally.
Oh.
It's very
You can
responsive.
run even more instances of different softwares, whatever you do.
Which is what I was thinking of doing, because I have a second. I have a Rasa. I have a second C8
Yeah.
H8. I thought, you know, the AZEQ6 can actually hold 44 pounds
Yep.
on each side in Altaz.
Yeah.
And that would make it great.
Yeah.
And like I said, the only piece of equipment I'm missing is that rotator, which is what I'm planning on getting next.
Don't disconnect that.
No.
I need that for the show.
Oh, I was going to wait till you sort of walked over and just, you know, I thought it was just there for waiting for me.
Yeah. It's your scope.
It's my scope. It's the exact same setup that I have at home, and it works great.
Yep.
I tested out. The only thing is that I use a different electronic focuser here just to make things easier for me.
Yeah.
I use it manually with a remote.
Yeah.
Make it go to the position I want that's close, and then I let the Isato figure out the rest.
Yeah, yeah.
And then it'll adjust throughout the night depending on the temperature. The Eagle 6 has different things. Has the observatory actions.
Yeah. So essentially, this year, the new improvement of the Eagle 6, not only we upgraded the processors, so it's faster, of course. We have more memory. We add the Wi-Fi 6E, so now it's 3-band. So
Right.
essentially, it provides you an extended Wi-Fi range, even better. But right now, we focused on how to help you to remotely control your telescope.
Right.
And the thing is, people ask me usually is, well, but does it work for only remote telescopes? And I said them, listen,
Yeah.
when you have your telescope in your backyard and you want to be in your living room and stay in your living room, this means it's a remote telescope.
That's right.
So all the feature that we developed for the Eagle 6 that works great for remote telescopes are now available for any type of telescope, you know?
Now,
It's small, compact, portable,
Right.
don't care. So now you can remotely turn on your Eagle without having to press the on button. You have the possibility with the new observatory actions to connect the Eagle to external sensors that may trigger actions in the Eagle.
Right.
You can turn on mounts and domes that are not powered through the Eagle without having to go there and press the on button.
And also too, you have the in and the out for external controllers that you can use for a dome, a shutter, or
Absolutely.
anything, or you want to turn something on that's outside of the scope itself.
Perfect. And
Right.
so that's why we call it actions, because it's something that you can personalize and you can connect any device with the right contact and personalize what you want this external device to do on your Eagle.
Now, also too, what I like about the fact is that you have an input so that you can get into the Eagle without it even being on.
There you go. Bypassing the operating system, you just need power, essentially. So this is the lights out management.
The lights out management.
That is a terminology that derives from the data centers. So computers in data centers,
Right.
They have this lights out management feature that allows data center managers to essentially connect remotely to the computer and check that everything is fine,
Right.
independently from the operating system.
Right. Well, for years we've been using power over Ethernet
Yeah.
to turn devices on. So this does that, but it takes it one step higher.
Another level, yeah,
Right, you
yeah,
could
yeah.
actually
With
look
more
into the
feature,
system.
absolutely. You can check sensor, you can check the status, you can check if the computer is okay, and you can check all the sensor and power. You can turn on and off the ports independently from Windows.
Right. That comes in very handy. I also noticed the GPS, it's much stronger. I could
Yeah.
never get
Yeah.
a GPS when I turned it on, like testing it inside the
Yeah.
apartment.
Yeah.
And now I get the GPS signal.
Even the inclinometer has been much improved over the version
That
5.
thing is, I didn't really think that was something I would really care that much about, but adjusting the inclination of the mount for polar alignment
Yeah.
is extremely handy.
I mean, it's very useful because you can more or less point to the North Star. Then, of course, you have to look with your polar scope.
Right.
But at least you start with a position that is very close to the
Right.
real position you need to, and you are not very far away.
Exactly.
So it's a help.
I love the fact that you guys keep innovating. I know now that you're also setting up turnkey systems
Oh, yeah.
for institutions that want to set up a ground station, either
Absolutely.
radio telescopes.
Do you want to see one?
Sure.
Let's go. Let's go
Come on.
over.
Follow me, John. Well, we just had an interruption here at NEAF, something that never happened before until Felipe mentioned Tesla 3 times.
It seems like it's my fault.
It was like Beetlejuice set off the fire alarm. But everything is good. Nobody got hurt.
We're fine.
Everything is clear. So when we left off, Felipe was going to show us the newest in base station technology that they're using and innovating with here at PrimaLuceLab.
Oh, yeah.
So
these are the PrimaLuce observatory stations. So essentially, these are our compact observatories that include all the technologies that we developed in a complete system for people, institutes, schools, with universities, and we work a lot with a lot of educational entities that ask us, that see what we do with telescopes, and they ask us, okay, is it possible to have an entire turnkey system that allow us to develop an astronomy program or do research with a compact instrument? Yeah, it's possible.
So this is an Altaz mount that you're using.
Yeah, so essentially, the thing is quite funny because this is the project of our own observatory.
Okay.
Because it all started with the idea of, well, we have to develop and keep developing and keep innovating and creating new things, okay? So what we do, and we did up to a few years ago, we have different telescopes in the company, so every night you have to go outside
Right.
and you spend a lot of time. So there was a point and we clearly understood that we needed to have our own observatory. So initially you say, okay, we can buy a dome, we can buy a mount. Usually we buy telescopes, we don't make optics, we buy telescopes. And then we said, okay, instead of buying the dome, let's design our dome.
Right.
Different with the dome we'd like to have. So we came up with a solution based on a clamshell design, with specific parts that we developed for that. And it was such a nice exercise into designing that together with Omar, our head designer, we said, listen, instead of buying a mount, why don't we design a mount for ourselves? So, and we were thinking, okay, let's do which is the type of mount we would like to use. So we have the Arco di Rotator. So we thought, okay, it will be Altaz. But what we always don't like is guiding because it loses a lot of time. You create. I want to have something easier because we will use that for development. So our aim is not to create the most beautiful picture, but to check that everything works, that when we release something new, it's tested under real conditions. So we need to have something quicker to use, you know?
Right.
So Altaz, yes. And then we design a system that allow us to have two telescopes in parallel, and this is the real system. So this is an Edge 14, and this is a RASA 11 in parallel. So based on this design, we designed the mount. So this is a direct drive mount with 350 pounds payload capacity.
Wow.
27-bit encoder, absolute encoder with sub-arc second resolution that essentially allows you to point any type of object in the sky and track it without the need of auto guiding for do your astrophotography stuff or whatever it is. And the tracking speed is 19 degrees per second.
Wow, that's
because
fast.
what we like to do with this mount is also take picture of satellites of the International Space Station. Why not? Everything that is moving in the sky. So we designed that. And the thing is that we designed this. We actually are building this in our own observatory. And people is looking at this and is say, okay, but can we buy this? Are you selling this? And the reality is originally we didn't thought of this because we say, okay, this is our. This is to develop Esatto, Eagle, Arco, Giotto, and that. So we are now, right now we are already offering the dome. We are thinking what to do with the mount.
Okay.
We'll see. We'll see in the future.
Well, if the C14 were this small, I could definitely carry this, but this is a very nice compact system and something that would be great for somebody who has that high-end type of system in mind.
And it uses all our devices. So it's controlled by one Eagle. One single Eagle control all of the stuff. So 2 cameras, 2 focusers, 2 rotators, 2 flat field generator, 2 cover motor, the dome, the mount, everything.
Everything's all integrated.
And this is why the Eagle comes now with observatory actions and lights out management, because we need it for our own observatory. That's how we develop things. Most of the time, we see that we need something that no one has. And see, okay, this is something that we need in order to do that type of application. So we develop for ourselves. And then when we see that it works and we like it, and we say, okay, this is a new product.
Well, this is really something. And I know that you also do the radio astronomy. And you have many different sizes, even some for backyard hobbyists who might want to do radio astronomy. It's actually now within range of affordability and space constraints. Like if you have a backyard that's big enough, you could put a nice radio telescope there and indulge your hobby even more.
Of course. And, I mean, the smaller radio telescope is 2.3 meter antenna, but we designed that for equatorial mount. So, you know, radio astronomy you can do in daytime when you don't use your equatorial mount. So if you have an equatorial mount big enough in order to support a 2.3 meter antenna that is not heavy, you need something like 110 pounds payload capacity. So a big mount, like but not huge, like an EQ8. You can use in daytime for radio astronomy,
even when it's raining.
In nighttime, there you go, perfect. And in nighttime for your optical astronomy.
This is a company that broke on the scene some years ago and haven't stopped innovating. And I'm very thankful to you and your staff. I know Tom is always available on a phone call. Filippo answers his own email directly. I usually send an email today, and by morning when I wake up, I have an answer from him directly. And I have everything of yours. Mine is that rotator, which if I can wrangle it off when you're not looking, it's coming home with me. But PrimaLuceLab has stood out from a lot of the other vendors. The cost of gaining entry into it is a little higher than some of the other hobby stuff that we have, but the technology works and it's very high end and you can count on it when you need it to work. And now with the Eagle 6, it's become more upgradable. You can upgrade the memory. It's just like a regular computer. Upgrade the NVMe drive, which is what I've done. And it's very snappy, very responsive. And the cable clutter that you get with the old spaghetti wires now is starting to be
Yep. And now
the
also
past.
the basic version of the Eagle that starts at $12.95. In respect to your previous Eagle 4,
Right.
now the Celeron version is quad core.
Quad-core,
So
yes.
it's much faster. And people is telling me, wow, I expect this to be a little bit laggy, but it's not.
I went up one. I went to the Eagle 6S.
Yeah, but even the Eagle 6 base model right now with the Celeron, it's a lot faster than the Eagle 4 with Celeron processor.
Wow. Okay.
So the entry-level Eagle 6 comes with all the feature of the higher-end model, but with a much affordable price because we start at $12.95, so it's not that expensive anymore, and it provides all the feature that we have in all the other Eagles. So
well, I have the 4 and the 6 now, so I guess I need another scope to put the 4 on. And I love gadgets. So anytime gadgets come out, my ears perk up. A new computer, a new gadget for the scope.
Of course.
The flat panel makes things so much easier, especially with the Rasa. Because with the Rasa, you need very, very low light intensity to get the proper exposure. If the light is too bright, it washes it out.
We have a lot of customers that are really enjoying the Giotto flat field generator. So, and that's why we partnered with Celestron in order to make a special version of the Giotto for their origin telescope also. That's a brand new thing.
Will that also now fit the new Rasa 6 that
no, it has a different thing. So for the Rasa 6, you have a proper Giotto.
Okay.
But for the origin, you have a Giotto that exactly fits because it connects directly instead of its
That's right. It clips into the clips
there you
on
go.
the side.
So it's
now
brand new.
With the new Rasa 6. Are you going to be making plates for that? Because, like, for example, I don't like the Celestron plates. I have your plates on all my scopes.
Okay.
But I don't like the Vixen. And I don't know if you can affix because of the radius.
Well, you see, let me take one. So this is the Giotto for the origin. So you see the connection is different.
That's a clip.
So there is no support for the Alto. So on this, you use manually, you put manually in top because the type of use of that telescope is that you are close to the telescope. So it doesn't make sense to automate this, but you need to have something very easy to use that it clips on the telescope and that you can control with the same phone that you are using to control the telescope. And since this comes with Wi-Fi capability and with the virtual handpad, there you go. So they really, I had to make a funny video of this, of course. So we released a funny video of they calling me, but it was real because they really used the Giotto to calibrate the origin in their factory. And now we release this to the public.
Inside secrets that we didn't know. See? But, you know, Filippo, let me congratulate you again on wonderful products and innovation. This man is one of the most approachable, friendliest person around. And I was I almost didn't make it to NEAF this year. But I'm glad I'm here, even with the emergency. But, you know, I look forward to what you're going to have in store for next year.
You will see. You will see. It's secret, but there will be something new.
All right, you heard it here first. So, ladies and gentlemen, with that, we're going to say goodbye to Filippo and PrimaLuceLab. Go to their website, PrimaLuceLab.com
or .us.
And you can buy it from any vendor that carries. There's things here in the United States, but they do have a supplier directly, and he's sitting back there. If you see him,
there you go.
That's Tom.
Hi, Tom.
Tom Brownwell. Amazing team, very responsive. You can get anybody when you need them, and they'll help you through and sort out any issues you might have. I pester them with little nonsense questions that sometimes it just doesn't appear to me right away, but they get back to me and indulge me. So I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
We'll see each other next year.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
See you later.